Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Olivia, a bilingual speech language pathologist and a mother to a 1.5-year-old little girl. Today I wanted to talk to you about my 5 must-haves for a baby from 0 to 3 months. Something that I thought was really helpful, that my daughter loved, that I thought it would be nice for you to think about if you're considering buying some things for your little baby. But before we begin, I just wanted to remind you to please subscribe to the channel. That would be really appreciated, and give it a thumbs up if you find this video useful. So, some of my must-haves for a baby from 3 to 6 months. Here we go. The first thing that I wanted to recommend was books. Now, you will always hear me talk about books. That is my #1 advice. If you don't take anything away from this video, I really think it's important for you to consider buying some books for the baby. Make sure that you're exposing your children to books as soon as they are born. It's never too early to start. And as I mentioned in my previous video, which I can link down below, for 0 to 3 months, some of my must-haves, I talked about having books that are black and white and how important that is for a baby at that age to have that contrast. The books that I would recommend focusing on for this time period would be something that's soft or has some sensory feel to it. Again, at this point, babies might start to teeth, and so some books have little pieces to them that they can put into their mouths, or they like that crunchy feeling. So again, board books are always a great option. You can still continue using those black and white contrast books, but I would recommend adding some books that are soft and that they can kind of use to explore in a sensory way. So that is my #1 suggestion, getting some more books for your baby's library. My second suggestion on the list would be going off of the books that are having some options for teething. That is to have some teethers. My daughter, by the time she was 6 months, she already had 2 teeth, and I noticed that she really appreciated having something to have in her mouth. I think it helped her with the pain. We would often put those teethers in the freezer so that they were nice and cold, and she really seemed to enjoy those. I think could decrease some of that frustration. And there's also some great ways to explore for the baby with some teethers. For example, Sophie the giraffe. I'm sure everybody talks about it in all their videos, but I really think Sophie is a good investment. She's a little more expensive than some of the other teethers, but she squeaks, she's rubbery, I think she's French, and it's just something that babies for some reason love. My daughter would smile at her and try to pet her. She just seemed to really enjoy playing with her, and it also gave her some of that soothing to make sure she's not having that pain in her little teeth as they're coming in and growing and could be a little uncomfortable. My third suggestion would be to have something for the baby to explore during tummy time. Now, doctors will say you can start tummy time pretty much within the first month. Obviously not a lot, but tummy time is important for them to build their core, to work on that head and neck control, to build some of those muscles that the baby will need in the upcoming months. So, think about having something for your baby that they can explore while they are laying on their stomach. Whether it's one of those play mats that has some kind of options for the baby to explore and look at, a mirror that they could have in front of them or below them so that they can look at, or one of the tummy time wobblers. I'll try to link some down below, but again, something that the baby can reach for, maybe even work on that coordination of grabbing for a toy as they're working on their tummy time. But again, some kind of toy that they can explore while they are on their tummy. It's going to be an important skill for your baby to develop, and you want to make sure you're giving them something interesting to look at while they're on their tummy. My fourth suggestion would be some sort of spinner wheel, or something that the baby can kind of use their hands, work on their motor skills, and adapt or manipulate. I'll include one of the toys that we used. Basically, you want to have some kind of toy that allows the child to manipulate their environment and have some control over the toys that they're playing with. So for example, the wheel that spins, they're able to look at the different colors and make that action take place, which makes them feel like they're accomplishing something, and they're also working on their skills, whether it's their vision or their motor skills, and that cause and effect that takes place. There's also a cute little tissue box. You could even use just a regular tissue box and have the baby take the tissues out. That's really exciting for them to make sure they could see something appear that wasn't there before. It's a great way to keep them engaged. So if you like to use a tissue box, that's a great way to make a, DIY little toy for your baby. And finally, my fifth suggestion would be some kind of little chair for your baby to sit in and explore. Now, I had talked about one of these examples in my previous video from 0 to 3 months. One of the things that we started using towards the end of the 6-month period, right around 6 months, when the babies are slowly starting to sit, not independently, but they're able to sit up, is to have something called a husband pillow. Now, I know people use a Bobby pillow. That's very popular. My daughter didn't really love that. So what we had was a husband pillow, which gives them that support while the baby is sitting up. And again, you want to keep in mind that your baby wants to look around at the world that they are in and explore. And so again, something for the baby to sit in that allows them that support would be great. So a husband pillow was wonderful, because as our baby was learning to sit up, we noticed a couple of times she still wasn't balancing herself very well, and it's so important for them to have the opportunity to look around them instead of just always looking up. And so that's something that I wanted to include and to make sure that you think about when you're making your list of some must-haves. I would love to hear any of your suggestions. What are some of your favorite toys and must-haves for a baby from 3 to 6 months? Have you tried any of the items that I listed here, and what did you think of them? And finally, if you have a question that's a little more private or a little more specific, you're welcome to check out my website, which is olivialaboratory.com. You can submit a question and chat with me one-on-one. Love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in my next one. Have a good one. Bye.